think it's worth focusing a bit on the conundrum of the security sector in Libya, because really, yes, we have a unity government. From my point of view, this government does represent all of Libya in the sense that it has brought in people from different parts of the country. But in the security sector, we're still seeing a complete dominance of foreign actors, in the sense that Libya is still a country where you have Turkish military presence, Turkish military buildup in at least 2 military bases in the west of the country. You have a Russian, pro-Russia, pro-Moscow Wagner presence in at least 2, if not 3 military bases in the center south of the country. You had until recently, presumably, Emirati presence in at least 1 military base in the east of the country and 1 in the center of the country. You have foreign forces, mercenary forces from a host of countries. Syrian fighters that are on both sides of the divide in Libya with the Tripoli government and with the Haftar-led military authorities. You have Sudanese fighters numbering up to 10,000, if not more, guns for hire, guarding military installations in the country. You have Chadian opposition forces also on both sides of the military divide. So it's a very internationally dominated security sector scene. As Stephanie has said, one of the pillars of this transition phase, one of the main agreements that was sealed in the ceasefire agreement signed last October, was the necessity to have these foreign forces depart from Libya. But we really haven't seen any movement on that front. We've seen actually more buildup by these foreign actors in their respective military bases. And we haven't seen much legwork beyond just rhetoric. We hear statements from the US saying, oh, foreign forces need to go. And the subtext of that is Wagner forces need to go, because that's the main concern in Washington are these Wagner forces. We hear the French echoing similar statements in the UN Security Council, but when the French concern is primarily the Turks, so the Turks need to go. That's a subtext when they say that these foreign forces need to go. They're very different issues that it's like apples, oranges, pears, and bananas, in the sense that every set of foreign actor, presumably, from my point of view, needs a separate set of negotiations, in the sense that Turkish forces are directly respondent to the Turkish government. Wagner forces are indirectly linked to Moscow, but very much take commands and orders from Moscow. So the departure of these forces implies a negotiation with their respective governments. The same cannot be said for the Syrians and the Chadian mercenaries and the Sudanese. The Sudanese have a peace process to go back to. They are hedging their bets on the Juba agreement, and about a third of the Sudanese forces appear to voluntarily want to withdraw and are hedging their bets on that peace process. This leaves us within the Chadian forces. This is very different. We have about 2,000 opposition fighters present in Libya. They do not have a peace process to go to, at least they didn't have a peace process to go back to. And there was never much thinking by the internationals, even by the UN mission, about accompanying or trying to force a dialogue between these opposition forces and the Déby government. The Déby government was always saying, "Niet, no dialogue." And the result of this is this incursion that we saw yesterday, where you have one armed group that in the past 2 years of the Libya war sided with the forces of General Haftar, was very well armed by them, possibly also through equipment brought in by the Gulf countries, those very countries that are allied with Idris Déby, with Haftar. And thanks to this equipment, launched a raid that led to the death of Idris Déby. So there's always unintended consequences to this heavily internationalized environment in Libya's security sector. And I think it'll be key to unblock this Gordian knot